Day 2 of Washington Commanders training camp has commenced. I say it's day 2, even though it's technically day 3. I consider the first day when players are reporting, doing conditioning tests. I consider that day 0. So we are now 2 practices underway. Our superstar receiver is holding out. Our star quarterback looks great. And we got some UDFA gems already showing out in the early days. I didn't drop nothing yesterday, so let's talk about day 1 and 2 of Washington Commanders training camp. Salutations, what it do and what's good, Washington Commanders Nation? It's your boy Rio Robinson, back with the latest and greatest on the Rambling with Rio YouTube channel, where we ramble about our Washington Commanders. It is Thursday, July 24th, and we are now 2 practices in the books and no injuries so far. That is all we wish for out of training camp. I know we live for the clips like the one you're looking at right now with current wide receiver 1 Deebo Samuel catching a beautiful over-the-shoulders dotty by Jayden Daniels. But most importantly, we want not only our players, but players league-wide to make it through training camp with good health. And we want everybody healthy. We want no competitive advantage due to players being hurt. I hope Justin Fields is okay. I hope Terrion Arnold and some of these players we've heard at other camps that have been injured so far, we hope they're all right, and we hope our things keep going as they're going so far. But to start things off, obviously the elephant in the room is Terry McLaurin. Terry McLaurin is holding out. He's in good spirits, though. We saw a fan run into him at a yoga spot yesterday, took a selfie with him. He's all smiles. He's holding out for his coins. And as it currently appears, they are very far apart in contract talk. So I think maybe AP and company are starting those contract conversations around $26, $27 million. And Terry and his people are around 33, 34, 35. We got some headroom to go there. And with Adam Peters' experience and time in San Francisco, they like to give contracts out closer to the season around the September mark. I hope we don't have to wait all the way until September. But I'm going to go dig deeper into the Terry McLaurin topic tonight on Commanders Kings. If you're not subscribed to the channel, at Commanders Kings, Kings, no Z or none of that nonsense. We have a special announcement we are making tonight, so make sure you pull up to the Commanders Kings, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But let me stay on topic. Terry McLaurin's not there. He's being fined $50,000 for every practice that he doesn't attend. Under the old collective bargaining agreement, he was able to have these fines voided once he agrees to a new contract. But however, under this current collective bargaining agreement, or CBA, if you will, he has to pay these even when he signs that. So we are now $150,000 of fines into Terry McLaurin's holdout. And whenever we get a new wrinkle to it, we will update you on the channel. But let's talk about the players that were actually in the building. I'm going to keep letting this beautiful Jayden to Deebo connection stay on the screen for a little bit because it's everything that I want to see. These are the clips we live for. But when it comes to training camp practices, when it comes to stuff like one-on-ones, 7-on-7s, those drills are geared towards the offensive player. So there's always context behind these things. But as football fan, who gives a fuck? We are excited to see our quarterback throw passes. And you should be excited when your quarterback is one Jayden Daniels. Going into his second training camp, full off season with Washington, coming off the Rookie of the Year season that we saw last year, everyone's wondering, how will he respond in year 2 when the entire world is wishing on his downfall? There is no way possible the greatest rookie season ever can build on that. The expectations are too high. He must slump. No, this guy doesn't even have bad practices, y'all. And trust me, as a Washington football team, Redskin, Commander fan, you all know it. We've seen so many quarterbacks come in and out of this building, stink it up at OTAs, stink it up at minicamp, and boy, did they stink it up at training camp, whether it was in Richmond, whether it was here in Ashburn, whether it was in Carlisle. We've seen quarterbacks stink this joint up for so long. I was talking to my boys in the group chat the other day. Shout out to Tate Todd, Jalen, Zach, Alex, Marshall, the gang. And I was like, we're totally going to outclass the New England Patriots when we do joint practices with them in a couple weeks. And I was like, do you know how far we've come to say we're going to outclass the New England Patriots? Because I was in attendance when Tom Brady and company came to town for joint practices. And I watched Brady not let a ball hit the fucking grass for 2 hours while Robert couldn't complete one fucking pass. And Kirk had the backups moving and the offense looking like an offense, and Robert couldn't complete a slant or a screen. It was crazy. I watched the intensity. We were moving like the team that was the dynasty when we sucked, and the Patriots were moving like they stunk. They were yelling at players. I heard coaches and Brady barking at players. You could just tell the pedigree of the two teams was completely different. And boy, have we come far. I cannot wait till these Drake May versus Jayden Daniels joint practices. But Jayden has started camp the same way he finished last year. He was sharp in training camp. He rarely has a bad practice. He knows where he wants to go with the football, and he's connecting to all guys. Obviously, we wish Terry McLaurin was out there with the group, but until then, I can appreciate him building a connection, a chemistry, a cohesion with the guys that are here. Him and Debo's connection is growing. He's already connected with him a few times. Luke McCaffrey showing up at camp. But the one I want to talk about is for the second year in a row, and I called this after the UDFA signings, I think we got a UDFA that could make the final 53 and the initial final 53. Not like after we waive him and then bring him back a day or two later. Ja'Cory Brooks with cleats on. That's a 6'3" wide receiver, 210 plus pounds, possession guy. Is his 40 good? No, it don't need to be. He has something we lack in that room, which is true size. He has the big wide receiver frame archetype that we currently lack in that room. Noah Brown and Luke McCaffrey are our best sized receivers. We need a true vertical threat possession guy. And Ja'Cory Brooks on his second day of practice is already staying after 30 minutes after practice to work out with Josh Johnson, Marcus Mariota, Tyree Jackson, and Cole Turner. You love to hear it. He's like, I'm not thinking about making the roster right now. I want to belong. I want to show them I belong here, that I deserve to be out here. That is the type of attitude I want to hear. And it's the similar things that we heard last year when it came to Tyler Owens, who's the next person we're going to talk about on this list. But it has stood out to me, and I've kept my ears out and paid close attention since they said in minicamp that Jayden's been throwing passes to Ja'Cory Brooks. Whether this is a regime change or things are just drastically different than they used to be here, but there's a world where an undrafted free agent never catches passes from the starting quarterback in practice, even in 7-on-7s, 1-on-1s. There's a world where only the first, second, third, and fourth receivers on the team catch passes from the starting quarterback. I've heard the words Jayden Daniels touchdown to Ja'Cory Brooks almost a handful of times since the spring, and it's continued in 7-on-7s. He had a touchdown from Mariota. He had a touchdown from Jayden. As a receiver who's young and has size, he has something we lack in that room. It's kind of similar to that thing with Ja'Cory Merritt, where you don't want to put unfair expectations on a 7th-round pick. But every time he touches the football, you notice he has something we're missing, something we're lacking in the room, and you can see a role for him in day one. It's not rational to give expectations for undrafted free agents or for 7th-round picks. But when it comes to Ja'Cory Merritt and Ja'Cory Brooks, I think both make the roster, and I think there's a world where we see both on the football field with Jayden Daniels at some point in 2025. And Ja'Cory Merritt has looked the part so far. Bill had a touchdown in team drills. He looked sharp. He looked spry. He looked shifty. Shout out to Bill, man. I look forward to getting him on the channel one day too, because we've already made that connection. But speaking of undrafted free agents, year 2, Tyler Owens, he got banged up a little bit and he got his feet wet getting on the field defensively, but he was mostly just a special teams demon for us last year. A guy of his height, weight, speed, you have to find a way to put him on the football field. Any way that you can, you find a way to get that guy on the field. Tyler Owens looks like a Madden creative player. He looks like a created player. He doesn't look like a real life person until you see like he has the shoulders of a linebacker. He looked like Bobby Wagner with cornerback speed, an absolute demon. And I wanted to take a break real quick for a second. Look at the locker room. Look at the locker room. They got like a new nutrition room, a new locker room, a new player hangout area. This looks lush. This looks like the franchise fitted for a state-of-the-art stadium coming up soon. I'm not used to my team having nice things. I always talk about how dusty, dirty, and dated Ortho Virginia Training Center at Commanders Park look. This is a story. This shit looks fly. Let me pull out the video real quick. There's a video the team dropped about the new locker room and stuff. Just look at this, bro. Look at this. Look how clean it looks. Look, it got everybody doing dances. The damn locker room looked like the interior of a Cadillac Escalade. I've never seen my team look like this before. The bravado, the team spirit, and morale, it is all affected. People at work are more likely to do high performance work when they feel like they're being treated correctly at work. It don't look like a high school auxiliary gym in that motherfucker no more. Because Daniel Snyder cheaped everything. He was cheap everything, bro. His whole net worth was he was a brokey outside of this team. So thank you again, Josh Harris. Thank you again, Josh Harris, for everything you've done so far. And we're going to be getting some news about the stadium sometime soon, guys. We're going to be getting some news very soon about our stadium. There's going to be a vote on August the 1st, and I'm sure it's going to get approved this time. But let's keep it training camp. Von Miller and Bobby Wagner both spoke to the media. Listening to those veteran future Hall of Famers speak, you could just tell this isn't these guys' first rodeo. When it comes to Bobby Wagner sounds like he could be a governor one day, a mayor. Everything is thoughtful. It's detailed. He answers every question to every single media person. And he speaks his mind. Like they asked him about the Terry situation. He was like, that's the business of the game. And that was my line of the day. He said, it's the business of the game, and all business is not my business. So I'm going to let Terry handle his, and when he gets it done, we're going to celebrate it. We're going to welcome him back to the locker room. It's not his first rodeo, neither with Von Miller. Listening to those guys speak is such a different feel of what I'm used to here in D.C. You could call us the old man home all you want to. These old men on this team still get busy, and a lot of teams that win Super Bowls are one of the oldest teams in the league. Dan Quinn definitely startled me a little bit when he said, there's a world, we're not taking it off the table, that Sam COSMI could return for week 1 of the 2025 season. And I said, whoa, because usually when you hear a player returning early from an ACL tear that happened in January to play in September, it's a running back, it's a wide receiver, it's someone lighter with less pressure on their ligaments and lower extremities. You don't usually hear 6'6", 320-pound linemen coming back early, but Sam COSMI is a freak, another one of those relative athletic score freaks, and one of the few things Ronald Eugene Rivera actually did right during his tenure as de facto president and head coach of the Washington football team Commanders. But Sam COSMI is in play to play week 1 of the 2025 season. I don't want him to rush back. I want him to take his sweet, precious time. But boy, would it be great to open up versus that crazy D-line of the Giants with a offensive line of Laramie Tunsil, Brandon Coleman, Tyler Biadasz, Sam COSMI, and Josh Conerly. And yes, it's early in practice. And just like they made Jayden earn the starting spot, they're going to work in certain rookies the same way. Josh Conerly is going to start over Andrew Wiley, ladies and gentlemen, unless he's an absolute garbage can during the preseason. But To start camp off, the first lineup we saw was Allegretti filling in for COSMI while COSMI's on the pup, and Andrew Wiley at right tackle. Veterans Day off for Laramie Tunzel today. I think they swapped it, and Connerly was starting on the right side, had some good reps against Von Miller. Before fans get too excited or too hard on anybody in the trenches, they don't put pads on till a few days from now. So nothing you hear other than the way they move in their footwork, nothing you hear about physicality from a lineman on either side matters, because they're not doing anything. They have on practice jerseys, shells, and helmets. They're not thudding. They're not hitting. They're not being physical yet. So pause on the this person wash this person in one-on-ones and all of those type of conversations. But other than that, 2 days of training camp. Marshawn Lattimore looks pretty good. He slipped on the Ja'Cory Brooks touchdown yesterday, but that happens, you know. And I always say one-on-one drills are always geared towards the offensive player. You never want to take any of this as gospel, but you just want to pay attention to certain things and certain lineups that they tell us and stuff. But we're 2 days through camp, and most importantly, Washington has not had a significant injury yet. I'm going to knock on wood so we can keep this consistency going. Make sure Ed Oliver doesn't mention anything about injuries when we do Commanders Kings tonight. Once again, make sure y'all sub up to Commanders Kings and get ready for Kings at 9 p.m. tonight. We're going to be making a special first-time announcement about something major that we're planning for the month of August. Make sure y'all tune into that. But Washington's been mixing up some of these defensive alignments that they're moving so far. There's a personnel package where Von Miller and Frankie Louvu are your edge rushers, with Dorrance Armstrong and Deron Payne as the two interior guys. That's the stuff that we should be paying attention to in camp. How are they going to manufacture pressure? Because all offseason and at the conclusion of the 2025 NFL draft, the biggest question surrounding the Commanders is how and who is going to get to the quarterback. They give Von Miller a 1 year, $6.5 up to $10 million deal. We brought in Dietrich Wise. We brought in Jacob Martin. We brought in Javon Kinlaw, who's going to be that hybrid quasi-edge interior. Elephant end. I know that's going to be the new Buffalo nickel that we're going to get tired of hearing, like position flex, but I like that. I like the sound of Louvu and Von Miller off the edge with Deron Payne and Dorrance Armstrong on the inside, man. Dorrance Armstrong, we're paying you good money too. Everybody's on the Javon Kinlaw contract. We're paying Dorrance Armstrong some good change, 15 plus million a year. I need him to be the guy with the double-digit sacks on this team this year. Louvu's capable of it, but Louvu's not a full-time edge. Dorrance Armstrong, you are a full-time pin your ears down and go get the quarterback kind of guy. I've seen you with a 7.5 sack season in limited snaps on the Dallas Cowboys. I need that type of energy over here this year. But I don't think we're going to have a problem getting to the quarterback. You want to know why I don't think we're going to have a problem getting to the quarterback? Because I think coverage sacks are going to be a thing in 2025. Our starting cornerback unit during the first couple of days of camps, and I don't see this changing unless health were to change it. Mikey Sanders still on the inside. Marshawn Lattimore on the outside. Trey Amos, 23, who has some of the sickest cornerback swag on the team, is your other cornerback, as we expected. Tyler Owens has been getting some starting reps with the nickel, with our other safety group being Will Harris and Quan Martin. We already know what we do at linebacker. Bobby Wagner, the ageless wonder. And that's pretty much the majority of what I've taken away from what I've seen. You know, JCM has stood out a little bit. He juked out someone named Ben Nickel. If you know who Ben Nickel is, salute to you and your ball knowledge, because when they said that name on Twitter yesterday, I had to ask the group chat, what the fuck is a Ben Nickel? I have no idea who that is. Is this someone who I need to know who that is? And we all were very perplexed at who that was. Our first time hearing that name. But shout out to JCM, shout out to Jayden Daniels, and shout out to the Washington Commanders. 2 days of camp, no injury so far. The boys look sharp. The boys look in shape. Let's hammer home that Terry McLaurin deal and let's play some football. I'm excited for the preseason. I'm excited to do a preseason watch party with y'all. I might do a watch party for the Hall of Fame game just because we're back. Just because we're back. It's going to be a bunch of third and fourth stringers playing football, and I'm going to be excited to see that shit on television because what the hell even is on TV right now? I'm not watching regular season baseball. The Nats don't intrigue me. I'm a fair weather baseball and hockey fan, bro. I don't want to see them unless they're contending. I'm not a diehard. I will never pretend to be a diehard of those sports. And the WNBA was just on hiatus. I watch a little bit of that, but I mean, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? But that's all I got for right now. I ain't going to talk y'all ear off. We're going to do Commanders Kings tonight at 9 o'clock. We went for 4 hours last week. Who knows how long we're going to be rambling and if those panic meters are going to shoot up from like 2s and 3s to 6s, 7s, and 8s this week. Thank y'all for rocking with your boy. Salute. Comment, like, subscribe. I'm trying to get to 20,000 subscribers before the season starts. We're about 150 and some change away. Hail to the Washington Commanders. Bleed burgundy and golden to the death of you. And keep supporting the home squad, whether they're called this, that, or something else. It's our team at the end of the day. Until next time, Commander Rio is out.